Just about every XRP chart expert on the planet believes that we will see at least double-digit price activity for XRP, which I find to be really fascinating. One of the more conservative price predictions out there would be from the blockchain backer. He keeps saying like $8, $9, or $10. Totally respectable. And he could be right. That's right, $10 plus. And even those who aren't quite so bold as to predict that we are going to be hitting that will still tell you. Nearly all of them will say, yeah, it's certainly possible. There's a good chance we get up there anyway. That is undoubtedly more conservative. Seldom do I see anything lower. On the top end, you do see more than $40. Honestly, I don't think so. Although I doubt it will occur this market cycle, I would still want to see it. A different market cycle may occur at some point in the future. Technically, that's feasible now. I'm only stating that, although I don't believe it to be the most likely scenario, I do believe that the reality is most likely somewhere in the middle. However, in this video, I'll show you a ton of price predictions from, I think, 12 different XRP chart experts. This is good stuff. Nobody is right about everything, but these chart analysts have excellent track records and are talented, which is why it's so fascinating. Seldom do you find analysts on any particular subject coming to a consensus on something so important. But here we have it. Will they be shown to be right then? Or will we go more toward conservatism? Or something outrageously expensive than $40? Please share your thoughts with me in the comments section. Since this is not a prediction, I'm speculating that the truth might be anything. But I wouldn't be shocked if it were somewhere in the middle of the highs and lows that are forecasted here. With Bitcoin close to $118,000 and XRP at $3.10, there will likely be additional sideways movement. I'm going to reiterate what I said yesterday. We won't be here for very long. Without a doubt, we won't be here for long. Taking a plunge first is always an option, but this cycle isn't finished yet. Before this thing is finished, we're going to go to a lot of higher places and pay greater prices. However, this post from a charting person struck a chord with me. He stated simply, "It feels like this is it every time there's a pump. Every time there's a dip, it feels like it's over." It's hilarious. It's accurate. And even after spending over 8 years in the world of cryptocurrency, I still find it amazing that people react in this manner. Even if it makes perfect sense to realize that standing at markets causes these effects, I still kind of enjoy it. Even though cryptocurrency in particular is the most volatile asset class in the world. For example, people are still experiencing emotional upheaval whenever and for whatever reason, and it's not helping you. Clearly, the overall size of the crypto asset class is increasing significantly. Nothing will stop it. One day we're going to hit a $1 trillion market cap. I would frequently say at the end of 2018, when I first started this channel, because we had never achieved it before, and we definitely succeeded in doing so. We'll reach a multi-trillion-dollar market cap, I remarked. That's what we did. We will eventually reach $10 trillion or more, followed by tens of trillions, and eventually above $100 trillion. And why would you waste any time being afraid of anything if you just have that viewpoint? And if, like me, you sincerely think that's where we're going? It's okay as long as you have a wide range of exposure and keep an eye on market developments in case something crazy occurs. To be honest, those situations are somewhat uncommon, but if a coin truly goes to zero, something occurs. However, if you simply wait and have wide exposure, you'll be all right. This place is ridiculous. Nevertheless, there is historical history for significant pullbacks, even in bull runs at this point. This is a post from Rect Capital, a chart analyst. He is referring to the market leader, Bitcoin. Therefore, you should be aware of this, even if you care much more about XRP, like I do. According to his writing, at this moment in the cycle, Bitcoin started pullbacks in 2017 and 2021. The 2017 retracement lasted 1 week and was 29% deep. Naturally, that represents a 29% negative. It was a 25% deep 3-week retrace in 2021. Compared to earlier retraces in their respective cycles, each of these was faster and shallower. And a crucial technical component of the previous strong rise in their respective subsequent uptrends was the brief and shallow nature of each of these retraces. And just to be really clear, even if we do have one of these again, there is a point of historic presence, we will still be moving much higher. Therefore, he claims that if Bitcoin does begin to retrace at this time, a faster and shallower retrace will not only fit with past cycles, but also serve as essential technical components for establishing a robust final price discovery rally. 3. And that's what the majority of analysts believe. Not all of them, exactly, but it appears that the great majority are anticipating, hey, we've got one more parabolic push for Bitcoin, you're going to have alt season, and then that will be it. Structurally, that's all she wrote, and then we go into a bear market. This implies that the most exciting part, where you get the wealth that changes your life, comes next. Here's a post from chart analyst Mustache. The biggest altcoin seasons to yet were indicated by Bitcoin domination, a bearish MACD cross that only occurred in 2017 and 2021. To be honest, this chart makes it impossible to be pessimistic about altcoins. Do you believe that the fact that this is occurring and that Bitcoin's dominance is now sinking like a rock at this precise moment in the market structure is merely a coincidence? I don't believe that this is a coincidence. History is self-repeating. The greatest is still to come. Here's another illustration. The source of this is Mikey Bull Crypto. Here's another one. Bitcoin dominance is dumping hard. A harbinger for alt season. X-Force Global is the source of this. He is charting the domination of Bitcoin here down to, not that it would stop here, but approximately 51%, 52% or so. And it is currently 59.76%. Additionally, it was at least 66%, if not somewhat higher in the last few months. And this is what you ought to hope for and desire. This is typical. This is to be expected. It will decline as the price of Bitcoin rises, and then alts will go completely insane. And almost all of the analysts that I follow who discuss this are saying essentially the same thing. This is it. It's crumbling, and you should expect it to do so. And there's a good reason why everyone is thrilled about it. People are afraid here, so I'm looking at all of this, and then I return to what I was saying a few minutes earlier. Leave this place immediately. They are? People are. Even though that is absurd nonsense. This is a Crypto Wizard post. This is a pricing chart for Ethereum. Can it flip? He asks. We've gained 226.41%. This is the next step. Naturally, he is referencing the bottom here in April. I said, guys, Ethereum isn't dead, and when we hit this bottom, it was a little more than that, at about $1,400. It's still alive. It will take off. It will begin at the beginning of the season. History is self-repeating. Ethereum is currently on the verge of reaching a new all-time high. According to him, Ethereum has retreated to $4,450, and Ethereum will soar to a new all-time high if it reverses from here, turning it into support. Can bulls do it? Yes, it is the answer. Beware of spoilers. Yes is the response. It's just a matter of when, in my opinion. For the remainder of the video, let's discuss XRP. Another one from Crypto Wizard is this one. This screen displays the XRP USD chart. XRP is getting ready, he says. A new peak is on the horizon. After retesting its prior all-time high zone, XRP is retreating. It is almost time for the parabolic rally. Watch and see. As you can see, he chart shows XRP rising by roughly $11, which is again a region that is charted by almost all chart analysts who make price predictions. Really, almost all of them. It hasn't been like that. I'm attempting to recall the last cycle. Did the majority of analysts have any thoughts? Not in my opinion. Of course, some analysts were bullish, but that was before the SEC crap. I can't remember that many highly skilled analysts ever agreed it would ever happen. However, they are now. And I'm telling you, when the analysts in the group I choose to follow share the same belief, they're nearly always correct. Therefore, I won't be shocked if XRP ends up falling within that range. Furthermore, as I mentioned earlier, the actual peak of XRP may lie somewhere in between the highs and lows that these analysts have forecasted. And that's such a wide range. I am aware of that. But wow, I'm willing to wager that for almost everyone listening, anything in there would change your life. That would be a significant sum of money. This is a post from Greg Crypto, a chart analyst. This post was made by Greg Crypto, a chart analyst. We might see a daily or weekly decline in WX below the $2 macro structure, but a monthly close. He asks, I can't help but wonder if we'll ever see XRP dip below the macro structure of $2. In our lifetimes, I doubt we'll witness that. Although history is being made, many people are still pessimistic about XRP. Don't buy anything for less than $1 now and expect to be an OG. Getting XRP down below $10 should be your long-term objective. The ultimate accumulation zone is located there. Yes. Therefore, he is another expert who is adamant that this market cycle will see double-digit price activity. Additionally, he has spoken. I don't recall precisely what he stated his peak was, but I have heard him discuss the $20 to $30 area in the past, or perhaps a little higher. And he might be correct. I don't. Once more, I'm not pretending to know, but it's kind of amazing to realize that we might never again see XRP below $2, even for a brief period of time. $1 too? Very unlikely. That is, until there is a real black swan occurrence, and the whole cryptocurrency market collapses, taking XRP along with it. Apart from that, I don't believe it. And over the years, there have been many statements that XRP will never again be this expensive. In reality, we are still in a bear market. We are in accumulation mode, and the markets are moving sideways. Therefore, they are completely mistaken. However, we will likely experience a parabolic blow-off peak at a time like this. Furthermore, you won't be at the lower levels that we've seen around the bottom of this market cycle, even if we do drop, at 80% or whatever it turns out to be. To be honest, those prices are likely to disappear permanently. I don't believe that will ever occur. Therefore, he might be correct when he talks about acquiring cheap, which is currently less than $10. We're sitting here with just over $3 after all. If XRP does reach $10 this market cycle, that will appear to be incredibly low. That will appear incredibly cheap. Additionally, you will appear to be a financial whiz. You can talk to your friends and relatives. This is one of Dark Defender's posts. And he was. He was projecting $10.47. But I believe I mentioned this one yesterday. And since we're discussing how every analyst in the world is forecasting double-digit price action, not because he believes it will peak there, I simply thought I'd draw attention to it. Additionally, he has discussed going higher, but this is his most recent post, which was made 2 days ago. Nevertheless, considering that, I was a little taken aback to see that someone who has been in the business for a long time, at least 6 years, still seemed somewhat pessimistic, and I suppose dissatisfied with the price performance of XRP, which I just think is amazing. It is simply astounding to me. I came across a letter from a man named Rob to a Dark Defender that stated, "Don't you get tired of posting these things and nothing ever happens?" What? I thought. Thus, Dark Defender's late enthusiast ? I wish you had been here since 10 cents was used. In response, Rob answered, "Been here since 15 cents. I'm referring to the previous 2 years. All you're seeing are postings from the handful of major XRP accounts, and it seems as though the day will never arrive. You know, everything seems fine at first, and then it all falls apart. Despite all that has been happening, we simply can't manage to break into the $4 and above range. It's just annoying." After reading that, I am aware that there are people who share his sentiments. I simply don't feel as though we're on the same planet. I'm thrilled with XRP's performance. Out of the top 100 coins since the election, it is the one with the best performance. It is simply unthinkable for me to say something and mean it in such a bad way. Do you understand? The fact that it comes from someone who has been here when XRP was 15 cents surprises me, even though everyone has the right to their own views. When was the last time that XRP was 15 cents? 2020? I am aware that it dropped to about 16 or 17 cents. Just to give you a quick update, we haven't seen 15 cents since the SEC case, which was probably in March 2020. This man has been here for a long time, and I'm proud of him for persevering through it all, but I just can't understand the feelings involved. That's all I'm saying here, you know. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, you maintain a much larger crypto pie when you only see the wider picture. As time goes on, XRP plays a role in it. I just believe that it makes sense to realize that we have no control over the investment process and to take control of the aspects that are under our control. Don't worry about the rest. You have no control over when this thing happens, but you will either be exposed when it does, or you won't. Furthermore, considering how well XRP has done, I simply cannot fathom realizing that, and then thinking, but it's not as high as I want now. Hey, Rob, XRP was 58 cents 2 years ago on August 15th, 2023. Dark Defender replied, "Hey, Rob, that's a 531% increase. No need to worry if $4 is the issue. There, XRP will also break. Yes, therefore, I don't question that. We'll just have to wait, I believe." He is obviously annoyed by XRP surpassing this level, but it's only a matter of when. His viewpoint, you know, is meaningless. He is intelligent. I'm not attempting to belittle the man. I'm just stating that I can't relate to the sentiment expressed in many of the posts that I see. It really doesn't make sense to be frustrated here. Therefore, you might want to think about shifting your perspective to something more helpful and upbeat. I simply don't think it does, actually. That's my view anyhow. Dark Defenders, is that correct? This is a Casey Trades post. I am quite optimistic about XRP and believe that it will reach $8 to $13. Additionally, I'm monitoring the wave that has printed thus far, and while it shows testing of $4.80, it probably won't stop there. Therefore, we might be able to surpass Rob's desired price of $4.80 shortly. Additionally, you mentioned reaching the $8 to $13 area. Once more, double-digit prices are anticipated. I don't think it sounds crazy. I have no idea what will strike. We may or may not reach that range. But it doesn't sound crazy, let me tell you that. Here's another example of an extremely optimistic chart analyst. Chart Nerd says, "Don't forget XRP bull flag equals $15. Just a few days ago, the great Matsby posted this. However, I haven't yet shared this one. Although he's having some fun with these, he wrote, "Be careful when a chart looks like this." And he's showing XRP heading down on this chart. Naturally, this chart is inverted, and he is pointing at roughly $15. If we find ourselves in that range, don't be shocked. Yes, I am aware of the sentiment that some individuals hold. You know, even though we're not in bliss right now, you should take solace there, if nothing else. Everyone will be ecstatic at the very end of the market, so it's excellent that some individuals aren't exactly delighted right now. I'll exercise caution. I'm thrilled now. The finale will be thrilling, but I'm going to be anxious as we approach it because I know that we're playing with fire and that the music will eventually stop. Just hold it, you say, and you can wait too long. Such a thing exists. Some people will unintentionally trip. You are aware of that, aren't you? I'm telling you, according to this article by chart analyst Bobby A., there is still a lot of fear in this market, and everyone should be able to see it clearly. Is a period of correction due? Yes, and I've written endlessly about that. That doesn't alter the fact that this market must rise, though. Another caution, then. Yes, you can have a period of correction. We're not done, people, even if things go down. And someone inquired about his XRP objective here. And, oh well, he claimed that I and many of my long-term fans purchased XRP from here between 4 and 6x. Based on the current price of XRP, you're looking at a range of between $12 to $18. This is what I continue to find then. Furthermore, I'm not sure if there has ever been a time in history when so many respected chart analysts were essentially stating the same thing. Oh yes, XRP will reach at least $10. And once more, I am aware of the implications for us. For many of the individuals listening, including me, even $10 would change their lives. That's the dream realized at that moment, you know? That is effectively the monetary equivalent of winning the lotto. So, yes, and it doesn't have to end there. It doesn't have to end at 10, mind you. Admittedly, I'm not sure, but it could definitely go much higher. Well, here is a post by CW, a chart analyst. He predicts that XRP will shortly surpass its all-time high. There won't be any more resistance after it breaks over that line. This signals the start of an explosive upward rise. A genuine rise in XRP is imminent. All right. Well, I believe that opposition will start to emerge somewhere. Although it won't increase exactly in a straight line, there will be days when the price simply soars. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if XRP rose by more than $1 in a single day, for at least a day or two. I'm not sure whether that will occur, but I am aware of how quickly XRP can move, so that would be quite exciting. And it's the kind of thing that is completely conceivable if we are actually experiencing euphoria, and that much money is moving around in the cryptocurrency world. Zoom, a chart analyst, is another option. An XRP BTC chart is displayed at the top, while the market capitalization XRP dominance percent is displayed at the bottom. Additionally, he claims that both XRP/BTC and XRP dominance are in their respective long-term consolidation zones, with a descending triangle representing XRP dominance and a symmetrical triangle representing XRP/BTC. So tell me, what do you think will happen next? Which way do you think this will break, considering that the market is currently in a bull market? I'm going to make an optimistic guess. All right, if a significant correction occurs, it won't be specific to XRP. There is no logical reason for that. XRP is in a better position than ever as the market moves in unison. Well, this is a post by Michael Crypto. He is as confident as ever. You will enjoy seeing it. It predicts that XRP, ETH, and Bitcoin will shortly reach all-time highs. Until I say it is, the top is not in. Oh yeah, you're becoming arrogant. We're just getting started, he says. Well, I don't question that he's right. I also have a suspicion that you will see more pyrotechnics sooner rather than later, even if there is a retreat initially. And after waiting for almost 10 years, we're finally going to enter that face-melting season for XRP. This is a post from Maxi, a chart analyst. As you can see from his chart, which is pointing above $6, he merely states, next week is about to get fun. This is another analyst who believes that fireworks will be seen sooner rather than later. Furthermore, I'm not sure if that will occur. And I constantly point out that no analyst can reliably forecast when it's reasonable to believe that you could reach that kind of price level in such a short amount of time. The response is that it is possible, in fact. It's not really that bearish. But this is the most pessimistic post I could locate. To be honest, it comes from Dolly Martinez, a chart analyst. He merely stated that to prevent a decline to $2.60, or even $2, XRP needs to recover $3.30. I therefore always take pleasure in sharing the most unfavorable posts I come across regarding XRP. They are essentially non-existent. Once more, this is the worst I've found, and he doesn't even guarantee that it will occur. He's simply stating, hey, $3.30 is a key level. As I finish this video, we're at $3.11.